You are not tired. You are undisciplined with your emotions. Every time you react, you give someone else the power that belongs to you. Every outburst, every overthinking spiral, every emotional storm costs you control. This audiobook is about taking that power back. It's about mastering the only battlefield that matters, your inner world. From this moment forward, you stop reacting and start ruling. Because when you control your emotions, you control your life. Let's begin. Stop reacting. Start responding. That's where your power begins. Every time you react, you hand control to something or someone outside yourself. A word, a look, a situation, a distraction. You give it all your energy, your focus, your peace. And you don't even realize it. You think you're standing up for yourself. You think you're expressing how you feel. But the truth is simple. When you react, you're not in control. You're being controlled. 1. The trap of reaction. The human brain is built to react. That's survival instinct. Fight, flight, freeze, it's ancient wiring. It kept your ancestors alive in danger. But today, that same instinct destroys your peace. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you explode. A coworker questions you, you over-explain. A loved one ignores you, you spiral. Reaction, reaction, reaction. Automatic, emotional, weak. You must break that cycle. Because if you don't, your life becomes one long chain of reactions. Trigger to trigger, emotion to emotion, without direction or control. You have to understand this. Emotions are impulses, not instructions. Feeling anger doesn't mean you must act angry. Feeling fear doesn't mean you must run. Feeling doubt doesn't mean you stop. You have a choice. That's the key. Every reaction is a choice disguised as instinct. And once you see that, you begin to master yourself. You think your emotions don't cost you anything? Think again. Every outburst, every overreaction, every emotional spiral, it all takes something from you. It drains your focus. It erodes your credibility. It weakens your discipline. Every reaction is a withdrawal from your mental bank. And most people are bankrupt. Emotional weakness isn't just about crying or losing control. It's about being led by every feeling that comes your way. It's about being hijacked by impulse instead of guided by purpose. It's about letting temporary emotions make permanent decisions. That's not strength. That's slavery. Because when your emotions control you, you lose command over yourself. And when you lose command over yourself, you lose command over your life. That's the cost. Let's be brutally clear. The emotionally weak man reacts. The emotionally strong man observes. One explodes. The other breathes. One panics. The other plans. One tries to win the argument. The other wins the outcome. That's the difference between chaos and composure. That's the difference between the noise in your head and the control in your hands. You have to decide which one you'll live from, reaction or restraint. That's the key. Picture this. Two people face the same challenge. A deal collapses. An insult is thrown. Plan fails. One reacts instantly. Anger, frustration, blame. He speaks without thinking. He acts without clarity. And every time he does, he leaks power. The other pauses. He feels the emotion rise, but he doesn't let it rule. He observes. He assesses. Then he responds with precision. And every time he does, he gains power. That's what emotional mastery looks like, power under control. You have to understand something most people never learn. Emotional energy is currency. You spend it every day on thoughts, on reactions, on people, on noise. The emotionally weak man spends it everywhere. The emotionally strong man invests it wisely. That's why the disciplined man always looks calm. It's not that he doesn't feel chaos. It's that he refuses to fund it. Every reaction is a withdrawal from your mental bank. And you only have so much to spend. The weak man wants to be heard. The strong man wants to be understood. The weak man wants to be right. The strong man wants to be effective. The weak man chases validation. The strong man builds respect. You don't need their approval. You need control. You don't need to react. You need to respond. You don't need to win arguments. You need to win peace. That's the shift. Emotional weakness destroys more than just moments. It destroys relationships. Because nobody trusts a person who's unpredictable. Nobody follows a person who's unstable. Nobody opens up to someone who explodes at every trigger. When people can't predict your reactions, they start to avoid your presence. When people can't trust your calm, they start to question your strength. And when you can't trust yourself to stay composed, your own confidence collapses. That's the real price of emotional weakness. You lose trust, both from others and from yourself. Let me make it even clearer. You cannot build anything long-term, a career, a reputation, a relationship, if you can't regulate yourself. Because emotions unchecked will sabotage everything you touch. A careless word destroys months of progress. A single outburst kills opportunity. A moment of pride burns bridges that took years to build. That's the cost. That's what emotional weakness does. It makes you trade the permanent for the temporary. And every time you do that, you go broke. You have to remember this. You have a choice. You can either be led by emotion or led by discipline. You can either be the storm or the stillness inside it. You can either spend your energy reacting or invest it in responding. It's not about pretending you don't feel. It's about deciding what you'll do after you feel. That's control. That's mastery. Emotions are signals, not commands. They are data, not dictators. Listen to them. Learn from them. But don't obey them blindly. That's how you rise above weakness, by learning to pause before you act. Here's what that looks like in real life. You get criticized, pause. Don't defend. Don't explain. Don't fire back. Just breathe. Ask yourself, is this feedback or noise? If it's feedback, use it. If it's noise, ignore it. You get angry, pause. Don't post. Don't speak. Don't react. Ask yourself, will this matter in 24 hours? In 24 days? If not, it's not worth your peace. You get hurt, pause. Don't chase closure. Don't demand understanding. Heal in silence. Growth doesn't require an audience. That's emotional discipline. That's maturity. You don't become unshakable by avoiding emotion. You become unshakable by mastering emotion. Because once you realize you don't need to react, you start conserving energy. You start building patience. You start moving with intent instead of impulse. You stop letting emotion make decisions your logic will regret. You stop letting people push your buttons. You stop being predictable, and that's when you become powerful. Because power comes from control, and control comes from composure. Every reaction is a withdrawal from your mental bank. Every moment of restraint is a deposit into your strength. Choose wisely. You have to start protecting your emotional capital like it's gold. Stop wasting it on gossip, on outrage, on arguments that don't matter. Stop letting small people pull you into small energy. Stop letting your peace be for sale every time someone tests your ego. They don't deserve that much access. Your emotions are sacred ground, guard them like a fortress. You don't owe anyone a reaction. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your energy. You only owe yourself mastery. So let this be your new code. Pause before reacting. Respond with intention. Protect your energy. Keep your power. Every reaction costs. Every restraint pays. The weak man spends. The strong man saves. The wise man invests. Which one are you going to be? You've seen how emotional weakness drains your credibility, damages relationships, and steals your focus. Every reaction is a withdrawal from your mental bank, leaving you weaker each time. But strength isn't found in reaction, it's built in restraint. And that strength only grows through one thing: consistency. Next chapter, the discipline of consistency. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your journey toward inner mastery.